Hey there, Aquarius. This is Joy with Joy the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe button, ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like, and share with your friends, your peeps, your family, because we're going to get this message out about Joy to the World, where everybody's fantastic, fabulous, and we walk boldly through life, bringing in the meaning and living in our purpose, celebrating every day, feeling shored up and strengthened in this community of life that we are a part of, right, Aquarius? Now, with that, I want to thank you for your donation. They've all been coming together, and I'm telling you, I've got many new decks that are showing up that you'll begin to notice, like one right here. I won't spoil your card because I haven't even looked, but we got the vice versa. Look at that. Is that not Aquarian? Two sides of one story, taking a peek, getting to know the dish going on up under there. And then of course we have the moon, magic and medicine, that triumvirate of cards that I've mixed together to get a better look at what is going on in our lives. I also have the new era. Look at that. Fantastic deck. Definitely brings in a whole new layer and a level of the mind where we can sometimes get stuck and not know how to make our way through. And then Tarot de la Nuit. Fantastic about the dark undertones to bring in the contrast that is necessary for our lives here on this planet, right? So with all that being said, first of all, our world has stepped into a new song. A new vibration is coming in, and therefore they're asking us to adapt and adjust. That's a bit of the bumpiness that's going on. It's not even all the planetary shifts, planetary alignments, squares, such, retros, so-and-so going on. It is more about us getting back on track with the soul vibration of the earth, with our planet. But that planet, they're telling me right now, the vibration isn't just what is contained with the people on it. It's our connection with the cosmos beyond it that is allowing the harmonization to occur and the song to begin to strike up and play. Interesting. I love it. So with that, this is our credit card coming in for y'all. You see? Love, sweet love. That's right. Sweet like a strawberry. Take a bite and taste. It is ripe. Okay. Ripe and ready. Now you got some cards scattered out because I was trying to do my cleaning house and getting it shuffled, and you're straight up like spitting them and putting them out there, and I'm like, who am I to take the microphone back? Y'all are already in charge. This is my time devoted to you, and you're the one leading the energy through here, because this isn't about joy to the world. This is about the joy of the world, joy to the world, right? And so it's the message needing to come through to get the confirmation, alignment in your life that lines up with your spirit and your guides on this journey of life that you are on. Now you're telling me that you're ready to take hold of your world. How do I know? Man, you're using the Mary L deck today. Look at this. Your fierce intention of taking hold of your world. It's like you've bowed time long enough, holding it down, waiting for that prime moment, like a toaster. That's what it does. That's what you're showing. It holds it down until it's perfectly toasted, and then it makes its way up. And that's what you're showing here. So all this, that's taking hold of what is yours, okay? The Nine of Wands, until it manifests and comes out of your hand. This is about the ferocity of the heart, getting the pump, like your furnace pump, to work all the way up, down, above, and below to get it moving and stroke it. Okay. To get it activated and alive, so that what you dream you will see, and it will be coming out of your own hand to be a magic maker. And what magic are you making? That's this lighthouse right here. This is the one that comes in on solid ground, leaving behind the storm, leaving behind the religiosity, leaving behind those restrictions and constraints of how things should be. And it's not that you ever went for that, Aquarius, it's that you were being buffeted by it all the time. You talk about wearing you out. Now, you see, it never wore you down. We are quite aware of that. But it kept you from entering into your promised land. It kind of kept the waters a little high, too. It was almost like an open invitation to just come in and challenge you. And that's where you're rising up and like, you're like, I don't even have words. Okay? You just roar. And those are the words coming out of your mouth, because you were showing me, in came the world card, and I thought, how interesting, because you were just telling me this was your world. And then you said it was upside down. It said, pull that, and I pulled it out, and it was this. And you said, this is my words. These are my words here. I'm using my words. And what words are you using? Roar. You're using your primal force, your breath of life, beyond just the breath that makes your lungs move and your blood pump. This is what makes your blood boil, like the thing that gets you up and going and puts the passion in your eyes, the stars in your eyes, to take hold of what it is you have been investing in, what you have been imagining. And you see your spirit begin to soar when we talk about this. This is your spirit manifest. This is your body beginning to soar and lighten up, because it's no longer being buffeted and drowning and stymieing this beautiful new land. Because if you can look, it is a whole kingship, a whole township, a whole nation of people rising up into their Godhead, into their solar plexus. Okay, we get a little science lesson up in here today, and look, it's matching my shirt I'm wearing. Okay, Aquarius. Were you in my closet with me this morning? So anyways, there are trees of life scattered abroad, scattered about here, that this has been cultivating for some time, and this is you right up here. That's why yours is the largest. But the seeds have fallen from this tree all about in this new land, affording life to everyone. And the time is right and ready, because each of these will support a household or a couple of households, and it's time to come on in. And you see that, and that's why you're like, I'm not holding back anymore. So use your words. Use your words. Use that sacral chakra, right? And use it balanced with your truth of knowing why you've come to this, that you're here. And we're going to find out what this is all about, because crowning the spread, that was just a little side note. That's the message. And now we're going to get to the reading. We have justice coming in, the cosmic tarot. And you were like, I have my eyes. They may look divided, but that's because I'm scoping it out. I am scoping it out. Remember, a whole township, a whole kingship, a whole community. And that took a broad scope of focus, a broad understanding of so much of life and the energy. Because remember, they were talking about, with you, they didn't say it with the others, but that harmonization, that balancing of our planet's soul song and vibration, its hertz, its frequency, was coming through our connection established with the cosmos, which is very Aquarian to me. Y'all are plasma. You're not air. I'm like, you're air, water, and I never knew what that was, but it's a fourth state of matter. It's plasma. And that's where the imagination state lives. That's the amnios. That's the amnios, like the heartbeat of the cosmos. If we were to ask life, what would you like? Life is like, thank you for asking. And through your messages, I think you've come to understand now that life is asking you to join in, to come out and play, for your life to have meaning, for it to have fulfillment, that will in no way detract from your life purpose here on earth. It's only going to cause it to measure up. It's going to cause it to, like this, boop, 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 pop out of that toaster, right? It's time. You're ready. Take hold of your mind. Look at it. That's like the 8 ball, and you're shaking it up, and you're asking questions, but the truth is, you don't need to ask questions anymore. You're to activate your solution. And what's your solution? You are the solution. You are a body of salt water. Salt water is a solution. And that's what you have here day or night, that it is not being swayed by any of it to you. There's no longer, this is like, this card is showing up like high priest or high priestess manifest. Fully realized, completed, okay? Because you don't look at, well, that's bad, this is good, here's stigma, here's that. You've literally moved through all of it. All of your karma, and I know what people want to say about karma and all that, oh, that's good, not that. We're just, you know what I'm talking about? The life lessons. That's what I'm talking about. You're like, I've had enough. I'm ready to graduate. I'm ready to graduate from Life University, and I'm ready to start living. I'm through taking these tests. I'm ready to start living and to build a life, to enter into the life that I have built. This in my imagination, to begin to live it while I'm still alive here on earth. That's what you're talking about here, and I love it because you got cosmic nipples. This is the yin yang. Talk about that. And some of you, I got to tell you, you may have Capricorn placement, because this was pulling in. These are not the same cards as they're reading, but you were whispering like, tell them. Those of you who have Capricorn, which we all have Capricorn. We are all the zodiac. we're the entire freaking wheel. Okay? We're beyond that. We're the cosmos. I mean, that's what this yin yang is, the wheel, right? It's the night scope and the day scope. That is the freaking wheel, y'all. They'll tell you about the day versus the night. And when you take somebody's chart and you plug it in as AM versus PM, it will literally move the entire thing in the way we view life, in the way we move about life, okay? But you were wanting to know, for me to mention that about Capricorn, to go and take a look at that, about life's fulfillment going on there. And that brings in even more balance of the energies. So this is talking about the chakra wheels that people often mention, that word chakra, about the little hubs going on, the little power centers in the batteries going through our midline. But there's also the eyes. Let me find them. It's the back of the Angelarium card. The divine eyes coming through that Scorpio began to talk about and break the waters on. And they start with the central part of knowing our intelligence, our intuition, our instinct, and our intimacy, okay? And then this last week, they finally turned that final cog of the wheel, and I was like, the combination lock opened up, the lottery slot pulled, the cha-ching coming out all over the place, which is why you got to in Capricorn, okay, friend? But from there, it stepped in and made the final connection from the imagination, the inspiration, and the I am. That was the divine trinity. That was not missing by any means, but it was arriving. It's when something is being creative and manifested that the more we, I say, tune into our belief and our knowledge and our senses with it that we were just talking about, that then they vibrate until finally they become stable. And when they become stable, they become manifest. Okay? So we've manifested the stability, the power for this to come in and to come through. I'm just going to leave that one right there for a reason. I don't know why. But that brings in these other layers here. That brings in the justice, because now do we not only know it, and are we geared for it as our potential? Potential is a car with gas, with oil, with all the parts and components in there. But we need a driver, right? Which is our unionized spirit and soul coming together to begin to move the parts of our body, our arms and our legs, to move us in conjunction with what we know is how we go, right? And so that is what we're here. We're made for. That is the divine justice coming in. Hang on now, because I see something around your crown. And that's what we got. Oh, now I know why the Capricorn, because when I went to go clear and clean the deck, one card was left up, and they said, you weren't meant to see this. We want this for our reading. That's where you'll start. You know your voice. I now know your voice, because you're like, we want this reading. You stick together. And I'll just say we, because I got my Jupiter and Venus right there smack dab in the middle of Aquarius. Second house placement, right? And you're talking about, this is everything you were talking about in Capricorn. It built this up and brought this in. This is going around the bend to know this is where your satisfaction's coming in here, Aquarius. To know that around the bend, there are more of these cities and communities and towns and trees of life, and the old battering and buffering and beating and worry and betrayal and issues and trials and tests all is gone, is being put down. The whole new era is coming around the mountain. Is coming around the mountain, and here we go, right? Built upon the rock, okay? Tried, true, tested, graduated life university. And so we have this card, okay, that I haven't been allowed to see yet. No wonder. You like, keep that down, pull that out. You just navigate me all around. I'm just the microphone, right? But there's that divine balance coming in, because remember here, the balance of the scales. To me, the fives actually are the balance cards. They're the pivot point, the turning of the tide. And my numerology is almost all, pardon me, y'all, I'm a little tight in this space here, is almost all odd numbers except for one. And so I've always made peace with them. And so they're not as edgy as they can seem to be when they come in on other cards. To me, fives in the deck is like, power's in your hand. Power's in your hand. You have the power and the potential to see it this way or to view it that way. And that's where the magic happens. But that's what the magician needs, is the hand. Needs the five elements to be able to move it together, right? And so you're showing me that your hands are free and clear. Let me bring it closer. See the holes? The holes in your hand means they're holy. They've been tried, tested, and true. Your heart is pure. Okay? And not only that, you're connected to the divine, which is why it's weaving back to Capricorn. Because remember, they had nipples in theirs too, and that's what they're talking about here. Definitely here. And look, that's what they're talking about. The breast is full, the breast is lifted, it's confident, and that means some good Gemini energy going on with you guys. Some really good Gemini energy and some Scorpio going in here, bringing in the balance of those two energies. The blue and the gold, the blue and the orange, the communication, the communion, the abiding power and the presence, that the harvest is ripe and ready to bring on in. And the neat juxtaposition is that yours and the world's is at the same time. But of course, because we're stepping into what they're calling this 200 years of air, but you're up here, you're like whispering, you're like going, use your words, and you're like, actually it's the air of plasma. And I'm like, oh, it is the age of Aquarius. Because if we're operating in that it's air, it's just going to be vain and empty and exhausting and exhilarating all at the same time. But, oh, isn't this great? Oh, aren't we great? But the star is happy with the harvest. This is the wheat. This is the souls being satisfied. The satisfaction of not just humankind, but of force of life itself, of all creation. That is this earth song. That is that tuning with the cosmos, right? This is the cosmos, the using of our words. Words are divine creation. So imagine each letter is an angel, all right? And when you combine them together, they become powerful legions. They become powerful cohorts to come along and to create, to go out and to move. So just understand that our alphabet is magic. It's magic. And the moment you do that, like the magician, the power of the five, right? The power of how you see it changes everything. And that's why I want you to see, what you were showing me here, that this lighthouse rises up. No longer is it being buffeted anymore. No longer is it on the sand, being tested, being tried, being proven to be true. You now know it to be true. You know your truth. You know thyself, right? And that's the truth rising up here. That is the beacon to bring in this new land, to bring it around. It's time. It's ready. Okay? I'm looking forward to sitting on the other side with you guys and listening back to this. I'm like, whoo, you can't see me. I'm like grabbing my chest, putting on my seatbelt, like I want to go for that ride. Yeah, down for whatever. Let's ride. And here we have the Ten of Pentacles coming in. I want to see what you're gazing at. I'm not looking at the back of the card yet, because this is like communicating with the mind. Being of one mind, and you're telling me because of the glow on the man that we can see the face of, it's of the heart too. That we understand that we're one race, one world. And when we begin to understand that the heartbeat of the earth is corrected, it's healed, because then we move about with the understanding, with the union, with life, that this is what it looks like. It is that order. To me, the Five of Wands, it makes the star. That is the union of the self. That is this divine cosmic justice coming in here, that you don't have to weigh it or think it or feel it anymore. You simply move in who you are, in that wheel, in the divine creation of your streams, of your connection, of your knowingness. So let's see, are we ready? So it's funny. I'll show you the picture, but what it's truly saying here is, so are you ready for a visit? Are you ready for a visitor? Are you ready for a visitor? It's a big one. It literally is a whole new world. Like, how I can sit here and still be human for a moment and use my mouth to communicate to you when I am, I would say overwhelmed, but I'm not. I'm inundated with the magnificence of this. Because what they're showing me here, the crown, the opening is so large that your crown has come down upon your shoulders like a mantle. Are you ready for a visitor? That's for you to answer, Aquarius. I still draw my eyes to this. Sweet, red, ripe. Are you ready for a visitor. Talk about the healing of the world. All right, let's get you a pearl. Let's get us a pearl. Let's get us the pearl. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here. It's a little hard for me to talk right now because the beauty of that is so immense. It heals the human condition. If any of you have been hurting or have loved ones who've been hurting or suffering or long suffering, imagine them free from bondage. That's what it meant about the end of karma, the end of that, the freedom. So anyways, it brings in these two. Tandem pearl. It's complete. It's just looking, saying, know thyself, and not even saying it. Remember that communication? That communion? Are you ready for the visitor? Are you ready for a miracle? Your miracle. As Metatron's like, it's time. It's time. The gate is open. It's time. And the neat thing is, it's going to come to you, but it's going to come out of you. It's all this. All of this. All the pressure will be gone. Because they're taking me back to now see. I talk about osmotic pressure in a cell. And that has to do with when the external pressure and the internal pressure are balanced as such that it facilitates the ease of transfer between nutrition into the cell and waste material out of the cell. And how it knows how to communicate and deal with that is well, it says that's my job. And I'm like, okay, that's your job. That when this plasma state comes on in, right? When this becomes our whole new world, it takes all the pressure off of you, Aquarius, because you are plasma. And this is plasma coming in. You talk about the freedom, the ease with which we communicate and commune. And the healing comes. The healing comes. It's no longer an enemy, but a friend and a companion. It comes along, and the bond is there, the union is there, and it has room to grow. It's established and eternal. Wow. Okay, I'm going to leave it with that because I'm ready to sit on the other side and to receive this message. Thank you for bringing it to us, Aquarius. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Remember, click subscribe, like, and share. Also comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Love you.